On the 27th June 2025, Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo have signed a peace deal in Washington, ending decades of devastating conflict between the two neighbors and potentially granting USA a lucrative mineral access. Welcome to Sauti EA. My name is Terry Davis Serogo. Let's dive into this deal. This deal demands the disengagement, disarmament, and conditional integration of armed groups fighting in the eastern DRC. Further details are scant and the previous peace deals in the region have failed, yet that has not deterred the USA and the Congolese presidents from framing this as a generational victory. And I quote, "Today the violence and the destruction comes to an end and the entire region begins a new chapter of hope and opportunity," the US President Donald Trump said on Friday.
This is a tremendous breakthrough. In a few short months, we've now achieved peace between India and Pakistan, Israel and Iran, and the DRC and Rwanda, and a couple of others also.
Franked by the Vice President, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, and delegates from the DRC, Congo, and Rwanda in the Oval Office, Trump called the peace deal a glorious triumph. And I quote, "This is a tremendous breakthrough," Trump said, shortly before adding his signature to the peace treaty signed earlier by the respective African delegates. There has been talk of Tshisekedi and Rwanda's President Paul Kagame going to Washington to meet Trump together, though no date has been fixed. When tensions between the two countries escalated at the beginning of this year, Qatar intensified de-escalation efforts. Qatar sent envoys to both capitals to urge de-escalation, and after the Congolese and Rwandan presidents met in Doha, a joint committee was established supported by the US. Decades of conflict escalated earlier this year when the M23 rebels seized control of large parts of the eastern DRC Congo, including the regional capital Goma and the city of Bukavu and two airports. Thousands of people have been killed and hundreds of thousands of civilians forced from their homes following the recent rebel offensive. After the loss of territory, the government in Kinshasa turned to the US for help, reportedly offering access to critical minerals in exchange for security guarantees. Eastern DRC is rich in coltan and other resources vital to global electronics industries. When some information about this deal was released last week, a statement spoke of provisions on respect for territorial integrity and a prohibition of hostilities, but there were no specifics. It also talked about the facilitation of the return of the refugees and the internally displaced persons. According to Reuters news agency reports, Congolese negotiators had pushed for an immediate withdrawal of Rwandan soldiers, but Rwanda, which has at least 7,000 troops on Congolese soil, refused. In an angry statement a day before the deal was signed, Rwandan's Foreign Minister Olivia condemned the link of a draft peace agreement, saying Rwanda had demanded that other parties respect the confidentiality of their discussions. The calls for a total withdrawal of Rwandan troops from DRC are a major point of contention, but Olivia said, and I quote, "The words Rwanda Defense Force, Rwanda troops, or withdraw are nowhere to be seen in the document." Just hours before the signing ceremony, Tshisekedi's office said the agreement does indeed provide for the withdrawal of Rwandan troops, but preferred the term disengagement to withdraw simply because disengagement is more comprehensive. Unless and until full details of the signed deal are made public, several crucial questions remain unanswered. Will the M23 rebel group withdraw from areas they have occupied? Does respect for territorial integrity mean Rwanda admits having troops in the eastern DRC and will withdraw from there? Would the agreed return of refugees allow thousands of Congolese back from Rwanda? Or does this armament mean the M23 will now lay down their weapons? And who will disarm the FDLR after failure of several previous attempts? Would the agreed humanitarian access allow the reopening of the rebel-held airports for aid supply? These questions still remain unanswered.